Hello. As many of you know, I have recently released a book that is available for sale. You can buy it on Amazon, you can get it in Kindle format, or you can get it printed. This is the paperback version that you will receive if you buy the book. And as you can see, it's quite a thick book. It has many pages and many chapters. And because of that length, um, recording an audiobook is going to be a little bit of a challenge. My original goal was to have the audio recorded before I printed everything, but I just couldn't wrestle with it anymore, and I felt that if I tried to do that, I might second guess myself and just not end up ever putting the thing out there. So the thing is out there, people can read it. I've given free copies to many people who I thought might be interested. But the problem is, of course, is that many people, myself included, have a hard time finding the time to just sit down and read a big book. And it's much more convenient to get some of this information in an audio format or video format on the various platforms. So it was always my intention to do that and to record an audio version, but it's just the manner of getting it done and taken care of. Now, if anyone's heard me talk about this book, one of the things I outline in the preface is that it's kind of rough drafts. And these are my ideas. I did the basic spell check on them and read over them a few times, usually, to make sure it's made sense. But there's a lot of stuff in there that's just kind of stream of consciousness and did not get finely tuned. And my idea was that people could read it and they could send me their feedback over time. So I included an email address in the book. And, with the goal that maybe at some later date, a year from now or something, I could take some of the advice, put those revisions in, and release a more streamlined version, hopefully. Also, if people were interested, they could simply take on the task of editing a chapter or a section, and if they want to do that, I'm totally happy with that, and more than willing to credit people with that. And so basically, I was listening to McMo talking with Phlebas and Chad the other day, and Phlebas had been reading the book and had nice things to say about it, which I appreciate. But kind of the point of the conversation got to this issue with, if there was an audio book, that would be much more easier to consume. There's a few people that agreed to that. So the idea that I've had is basically to take the same approach that I'm doing with the editing, which is to kind of share the responsibility with those at large. So there are certainly some aspects of the book that I plan to record myself, and I'm going to get started on those. But there's a lot of chapters. So my idea was basically, if anybody was interested in helping, they could record a chapter of the book, probably just in video format like this, put it up, with the PDF on the screen, and read it. And then I can extract the audio from that to format it for like Audible or whatever. But also we could just make these videos available in some form. I may put them. They'll probably be unlisted on YouTube, and people who help record them or who are interested in it can get access eventually and put them all out for public. But kind of try to get that little bit of time when I can monetize. Just because it helps to justify the time that I'm spending on doing something like this. And I wrote up a little proposal on Substack, techtonicschool.com. I'll put a link in the description. And basically breaking it down, and it averages out to that, most chapters are probably going to be about 28 minutes worth of reading, which is not a ton. So if there's enough people to do one, that would certainly help. But if there's enough people that are willing to read multiple chapters, at different times, it would definitely be pretty reasonable to get the first section of the book out and ready to share, which is about 7 chapters after the preface and the introduction, which I plan to read myself. But so basically, yeah, anybody who's interested in helping out, if you can read a chapter, put a video, send it to me. I'll aggregate them. I'm also okay with people sharing that stuff on their own channel. If you pick a chapter that's interesting to you and we can have a future conversation on it, that would be great. And you could definitely release the video for other people who want to have the context and the background, or you could use parts of it, or do whatever you want with it, basically. So that's kind of the plan. And what I thought I'd do today is I will read the acknowledgements, because in the acknowledgements I mention a lot of people that are involved with this space. So perhaps you didn't think you would make the cut, but it's many, many more people than you may have realized. So I figured if I read these acknowledgements, those people who are mentioned at least maybe will find that fascinating and be interested in helping out. So here we go. Acknowledgements. Paul Vanderclay, who's rambling. See, even there, just maybe have to redo, cut it, whatever. It's not a big deal. You can send it to me unedited. If I get to cutting out mistakes, I'll do it. If you want to do it yourself, that's awesome. Okay. Paul Vanderclay, whose rambling, unedited videos prove that there is an audience for exploring rabbit trails. Gavin Palmer, who put skin in the game to help me get this book written and has continued to encourage my efforts. So Gavin gave me some money to help pay for stuff. I paid for some books that I needed to read, and he also, what he gave me allowed me to order several copies of the book at the author's price to give away. That part would get edited out in the audiobook version. Chad the Girl Dad, formerly Chad the Alcoholic, for giving me his number and taking my calls. General Gaius Griswold Grimm, his Shadow Cabal, and the Reapers at the Broken Clock Tower Discord, who helped me bridge the gap from Alex Jones and InfoWars to being virtually not alone in TLC. Jacob Federecci, David Busuttil, Sandy, Cassandra, Yosef, Yoav, Hezi, Jason Almondtree, the rest of the Thursday Bible Study Group, Jacob's Ladder, and Fountain of Comfort. The Anadromist, Burn Power, for continuing and expanding the work of Francis Schaeffer and making it relevant to the next generation. Luke Thompson and Nate Heil, virtual acquaintances who became real-life friends through the breaking of bread, along with Michael Martin, Jess Purvance, Sherry, and the rest of the Grail Country crew. Mark D. Parker, Cale Zeldin, Rod Hare, Neil Daedalus, Jeff P., Nancy, Sherry, Donnie, Daniel, and the rest of the group from Quinbrook Farms. Karen Wong, C.W. Weeks, Bryce Carlisle, Gabriel Stuckey, Matthew Parlato, Sam Tidman, Christian Goldman, Christian Baxter, Teo, Lance, Jeremy, T. Grog, McMo, President Foxman, Alan, Alex, and all the rest of those willing to come out of the lurk. Job, who introduced Christopher Alexander to the corner. There's a lot of Christopher Alexander in this book. All my old friends, Josh Pilling, Carl Hellstrom, Jason McCutcheon, Phil and Sherry, Papa and Nana Matson, and everyone else at BCC. The RI gang, Bill and Nicole, Brian, Chris, Zach Lenz. Aaron Powers, Jason Hartman, Taka Iguchi, Aaron Campbell. Men I respect who set good examples. The Monday Night Men's Group and the Compass Crew. Brian, Hebel, Mark, Jose, Aaron, Dan, Austin, Alex, Roderick, and all the rest. Guy Landau and Mike Usray for rekindling my enthusiasm for wrestling. My family, Mom and Dad, Peter and Carolyn, Emily and Patrick, Mark and Lori, Josh and Emily. And most of all, my wonderful wife Mandy, who graciously put up with my obsessive need to spend so much time writing, and our 3 beautiful daughters. God provided the perfect gift to inspire a mission to help young men become worthy of their love and devotion. So that's the acknowledgements of the book. So if you are in there, you should feel obliged to help me out by buying a book, or by helping me record the audiobook, or sharing the news to other people who might be interested. and I'd be more than glad, happy to talk to people about what's in there. So check out the links in the description. I made a little link to a sign-up sheet. If there's a certain chapter you'd be interested in reading, let me know. If you're willing to read just the next available chapter, let me know. And I appreciate the help. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate the future efforts for people who are willing to help out. So thank you.